Let's start. So, I was wondering how you could improve Rocket League matchmaking in general. So, the first thing I thought would be a very small reset of your rank. So, as you guys know, everyone that is above 1660 gets compressed back into 1660. Even pros that reach 2300 MMR, they are sent back to 1660 every single season, and seasons are 3 months long these days. So imagine the mess. That's the first thing. Instead of compressing everyone to 1660, just take them away, 100 MMR. Of course, queue times are gonna be longer, but I think that's fair. If you're one of the top players in the game, you have to have to compete against other top players in the game. You cannot just compete against players that are 300, 400, 500 MMR below you and just get free wins. It doesn't make any sense. So I think that's fair. And then another thing they could do is just reset the season rewards. So you don't get a huge MMR reset, but instead you just reset only the rewards. So the 10 wins you have to get in each single rank in order to get rewards for that rank. So you send it back to 0, so you have to win 10 games in bronze or above to get bronze rewards. You have to win 10 games in silver or above to get silver rewards, and so on and so forth. Then the last thing you could do to improve matchmaking would be to give us an option to basically accept a wide MMR distribution. What does this mean? This means that basically if you have a lot of games, for example in around Grand Champion in extra modes, there will just not be enough players to fill a lobby with all people that have roughly the same MMR. There will be just very wide distributions of MMR in a single lobby. For example, I have a screenshot where my teammates in a Rumble lobby are, I'm GC2, one of my teammates is a Supersonic Legend, and the other teammate is Champ 3, or Champ 2 maybe. So that's the wide distribution I'm thinking about. So if you don't accept this distribution, of course, it's gonna take longer to fight games, but at least you are guaranteed to have teammates and opponents that are close to your MMR. So you know already what you can expect roughly from the lobby, on a theoretical basis, of course. It will take longer to find games, yes, but personally I would prefer that rather than having games where you just don't know what's going to happen. Every time you have to think, okay, is my good teammate going for the ball or is my bad teammate going for the ball? That makes the game a complete mess, trust me. If you don't play much extra modes, you might not know this, but yeah, in extra modes that happens all the time and it's completely messy. It kind of forces you to play in full team or to just accept that games are going to be random if you solo queue. So this is how I would improve matchmaking part. Then let's talk about instead the MMR gains. So before we jump into that, I will put a replay so we have something to watch in the background and something that also shows this thing I'm talking about. So first, let me hide my stream real quick so that you can see the end result in this game as well, because it was quite an interesting one. So replays. Okay. This is me. Okay. Disability. Okay. So let me start. Okay. So first thing is we have a base MMR for win and loss. Right now, you win, you get plus 9 MMR, you lose 9 MMR. This, of course, is in a fair lobby. So a lobby where the average of the MMR of one team is pretty much the same average of the opposing team. Otherwise, the usual rules apply. If you're a higher rated team and you lose against a lower rated team, you will get less MMR, and if you're a high rated team and you lose against a lower rated team, you will lose more MMR. If you win, you will gain less MMR, and vice versa. If you're a lower rated team and you beat a higher rated team, of course you will get more MMR, and if you lose, you will lose less MMR. So the first thing is, okay, the base MMR is fine, so we put a base MMR like this. Instead of doing plus minus 9, we do plus minus 6. So you win, you get 6 MMR, you lose 6 MMR. Okay, and this is easy. Then what else do we have? We have to take into account the fact that when you win or when you lose, not everyone is contributing in the same way to that win, or no one or people are not contributing the same way to the loss at the same time. They're not doing enough to prevent the loss. So what we do is add this one. We add 6 MMR plus or minus that are basically up for grabs for the winning team, and the minus 6 MMR that are up for grabs for the losing team. Of course, the losing team doesn't want to grab them. And what do? This MMR is split between the team members and is weighted upon the percentage of total team score provided by each player in the team. What does this mean? Let's put on an example. Example 1 is really simple. If everyone in a team have the same exact score, in the winning team they will get plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, because they've done the same things. And in the losing team they will get minus 2, minus 2, minus 2. Really easy. Then, more elaborate example. If this team wins and they have 1000 points, and let's assume that player 1 got 600 points, player 2 got 300 points, and player 3 got 100 points. So player 1 got 60% of his team's total points. Therefore, he will get 60% of the MMR that is available for this part of our MMR system. So he will get 3.6 MMR bonus because he kind of carried. Then the guy with 300 points only contributed to 30% of the total score of his team, so he will only get 30% of the 6 MMR that are up for grabs, so 1.8, and the guy with 100 points will get the remaining 10%, so 0.6. So now we can do the opposite as well. So basically we have again 1000 points on the losing team this time, and we have the same distribution of points. So this time we do the opposite. So the guy that contributed more despite losing will be subtracted the least amount of MMR, so 0.6. The guy in the middle will stay the same, and the guy that contributed more to the loss or didn't prevent the loss enough will actually lose the most MMR, so it will lose 3.6. So this is the second part. The third part is probably the most elaborate one, and is also the one that rewards the most players that are good at the game. So I call it smart stats. Basically, this is another plus minus 3 MMR, which is going to be split across all players in the lobby, not in a team, and it's decided upon good actions versus bad actions differential. And then it's weighted upon the percentage of positive or negative differential provided by each player in the lobby. So this is, of course, it's independent of the team, because it doesn't matter if you play well, you might win or lose, you still played well. If you played bad, you win or lose, you still played bad. So this is the whole purpose of this last point. Because in the team system, you still gain MMR regardless. Even if you played badly, you will gain very little MMR, but you will still gain MMR if you win. Here, it's not necessarily like that. If you win, but you play like trash, you will still lose MMR. So let's show, for example, a bit of smart stats. What I mean by smart stats is, for example, those stats that you can find already. A few of them you can find on ballchasing.com or calculated.gg. When you look at the replays, for example, consecutive hits, when you hit the ball and then this ball goes to your teammate, that is a smart hit because theoretically you passed it. Or like if you use a lot of boost and you're not hitting any ball or any car, you're not going for bumps, you're not going for the ball, you're just wasting boost, that is a bad action. Or a shot, when you get the shot but there's no goal and there's no save, it means that it was just a shot on the frame, so you just hit the crossbar, the post, and so on. So that is a bad thing, unless it turns into an assist. So as you can see, they are quite elaborate. This is probably the hardest thing to define in this kind of a new MMR system I'm developing here. But this is the baseline. So let's make an example here. What I mean with the good actions versus bad actions differential. So example 1 is in this lobby there's a 50 total lobby differential. So there have been 100 positive actions and 50 negative actions. So 100 minus 50, it's 50 positive. So player 1 got 60 of these 100 positive actions. This means that he got 60% of the good things that happened in this lobby. Therefore, this player will get 60% of these 3 MMR that are up for grabs in this third smart stats thing. So he will get 60% of 3 MMR is 1.8. So player 2 will only had the half of the positive touches of player 1, so he will only get the half, so 0.9. Player 3 instead, he got more bad actions than good actions. So he only got 20% of the negative touches in this lobby because he got 10 out of 50. So 20% means that he will get 20% of minus 3 MMR because he played badly. He got more bad touches than good touches. So he will lose 0.6 MMR on top of all the other ones. Maybe he won the game, but he still gets less MMR because he played like trash. Then you get the gist. 40 is 40% of the 100 positive touches, so it will get 40% of 3 MMR, 1.2, 20, same thing, and then if you get 0, it means that you are kind of neutral, and therefore you will get nothing. You won't get any bonus MMR, you won't lose bonus MMR. So this is a good lobby because there have been more good touches than bad touches, 100 versus 50, and so the good players will be ranking up faster. Then you can see an example with the 0 total lobby differential. So here we have the same amount of positive and negative. So if player 1, for example, got every single positive touch, then he will get all the MMR that is up for grab. In this case, it's 3, and so he will get all 3 MMR. Other 2 players got nothing, so they will get nothing, and then there are 3 players who contributed in equal measure to the negative touches. So out of 60 negative touches, these guys all got 20. So they will all get 1/3 of the 3 MMRs that are up for grabs, and they don't want to get, but they got negative touches, so negative differential, so they will get minus 1 MMR each. This is a neutral lobby, same positive and negative count differential, and therefore normal players like these ones will rank up normally. Then we have one last example, which is the opposite of the previous one, of the first one. So okay, here it is. So this one is a bad lobby, so you have the same exact thing that happened in the first example, but swapped. So you have minus 50 total lobby differential, so you have 50 positive touches and 100 negative. So in this lobby there have been more bad actions than good actions, and it's basically the same as before but just swapped. So the player that got 60% of the negative touches will get 60% of the negative 3 MMR, so it will get minus 1.8, and so on and so forth. So this is a bad lobby because it has a negative total lobby differential, and which means that less MMR will be awarded in this stage of the MMR calculation, and therefore these bad players will rank up slower. So with everything said, what is the conclusion here? The conclusion is that in the end, the total MMR gain loss is still 27 in a team, but it's not +9, +9, +9, or -9, -9, -9. Not necessarily, at least. It could be, for example, +12, +9, +6, and on the other side, -6, -9, -12. So if a player plays really well, he will get, and he wins, he will get 12 MMR. If this player plays really well, but he loses, he will only lose 6 MMR. And then, of course, there's the neutral case. They do nothing special, but nothing too wrong, so they get +9 for a win and -9 for a loss. And then the opposite case, so you win but you played really badly, so you get only 6 MMR. You lose and you play really badly, you lose 12 MMR. This, at the end of it all, what does this mean? This means that boosters will rank up faster because they're usually gonna play better than the rest of the lobby because they're smurfing. And boosteds, so guys that are getting boosted, will rank up slower because they're usually the worst players in the lobby. So the difference between the MMR of the booster and the boosted will be increasing over and over and over, and this means that it will be more difficult to boost. So this is how I imagined all of this, and I think it's pretty much straightforward. Also, the math is all there, it's already calculated. You could also make the proof. For example, you get 6 basic MMR, so like we can do base MMR, you win, you get 6. Then you have this one. Wait a second. No. Okay, well, you win, you get the base 6 MMR. Then let's put that, for example, everyone in the lobby had the same exact points. So you get +2 for the scoreboard, and you get to +8. Then everyone got the same amount of good touches, so you get +1, and you get the usual +9 for each one of the players in a team. Same goes for the loss. And basically that's how it's working right now. Basically the game is assuming that everyone is contributing in the same exact way to a win or to a loss. Instead, it's not like that, of course. And this system aims to fix this. Okay, so now I'm open to questions. Let's see what you guys think. Oh, hello Cyrus, hello Timo. Okay, in ranked, when wait a sec. Okay, in ranked, when I'm in really Arab-like lobbies, I play passive third, and my mates just score while I defend. I don't get as much points. Okay. That is also something I wanted to touch on, because yeah, a lot of people can think, okay, you get you get a chasing teammate, and of course the chasing teammate will get a lot of ball touches. It will probably score most of the goals if it does score, but you also have to think that if you have a chaser teammate, this teammate will not win a lot of games. So maybe he loses less MMR per game because he kind of tricks the system by getting a lot of points. But still, if you're chasing, you're not going to have a good record of wins. So you're going to lose a lot of games, and therefore your MMR eventually will not go that high. You will just derank slower, but you will still derank. Same on the opposite side. If you have ball chasing teammates, of course you want to stay more passive. This means though that you won't get many bad touches. So in the last part of the calculation, so this one, yeah, in this last part of the calculations, you will not lose any MMR because you didn't get bad touches, and you will probably get some MMR because you did get only good touches. So yeah, you still contributed to the win by not letting them score, as you say, and therefore usually when I play third man like that, I usually have a lot of points still, even though I'm not getting as many points as I could because I'm not scoring. You're still getting a lot of points by defending, and even if you're not, there's still this third stat that if your teammates are chasing, chances are they're gonna have a lot of bad touches, and therefore they might even lose MMR in this part. Instead, you that played defensive the whole game, you played calculated the whole game, you won't get bad touches or very minimal, and then you will also get good touches, you will get good actions because of this. So this third smart stat is to address the faults of the second smart stat, the second part, that is the team points, because of course if you chase you get more points, but that's not the whole story. This is why this third parameter exists. So yeah, this is pretty much all I wanted to talk about here. You've seen the gameplay here. I started thinking about this because let me see. Yeah, you can see here this is a 2v2, so my calculations are based upon 3v3 because it's my main game mode, but you can just rescale the things to apply to 2v2 as well. And yeah, you can see here that this lobby it's pretty much the same. You can see me and Ben 10 are on a certain level, and these other guys are not at the same level. So this happens pretty much all the time to me. I played like probably 15 games in ranked in twos this season. I got my GC and I stopped. Yeah, you can see the MMR here, but I guarantee you that this was the same MMR. Everyone here was around 1390, I think. They were all champ 3, mid-high champ 3. This was at the start of the season. And I just kept getting games like this. And I was wondering, why do I have to get the same MMR as this guy? Why does Ben 10 have to lose the same MMR as his teammate? It doesn't make any sense. So that's why I started thinking about all of this. I already had some ideas, and now I developed them in a full project, in something that is top to bottom, it's working. The only thing is just deciding those smart stats, basically. The rest is all there. The theory behind it is all there, the math is there, and it works. One could also think about rescaling the things. So instead of getting plus minus 6 as a base for the win, you could decide, okay, we do only plus minus 4, and then you give more weight, for example, to the scoreboard part. Okay, so you say, let's give it more to the scoreboard part. You increase by 2 the scoreboard. So instead of having 6 MMR up for grabs on the scoreboard part, you make it so that it's 8 MMR up for grabs. Or you decide we give more credit to the smart stats, because we believe that the smart stats that we defined are good. Then you can do again plus minus 4 for base, plus minus 6 for scoreboard, and then plus minus 5 instead of 3 for smart stats. And yeah, this is all about how confident you are in each one of the things. And also, I think you should be able to rescale this if people are playing solo queue or if people are playing in a full team. Because imagine, if you're playing with your buddies, you probably don't care too much who gets more MMR, because you're just winning as a team. But if you're solo queuing, you will get all kinds of things. If you look at my stream, you will see what I mean by this. And in solo queue, I think this is the right thing to do with the right splits among the 3 different sections of this MMR system. And yeah, you can just you can basically keep the one that is already in charge right now, the very basic one, +9 -9 for win and loss, if you're in full team. Or you can just increase the base MMR gain loss, so you put it at 7, and then there's only 2 MMR, one for the scoreboard and one for the smart touches, if you're playing in full team, for example. That is something that is not difficult to implement. You just change the numbers, pretty much. It's a really flexible system, so it's pretty easy to just modify it if needed to make it more suitable to a certain type of lobby or to another type of lobby. So yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about. Hopefully you understood, and yeah, I will also post this on YouTube, so feel free to comment down below. I will try to answer to any questions, clarify, and yeah, hopefully everything is clear, and hopefully someone sees this and they have some power to make this happen, because it would be really cool to have a smart MMR system and not like a stupid MMR system that is only based off of wins or losses.